Alright guys, welcome back, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to use the sequencer. And before we even start learning how to use it or even what it is, I want to talk to you guys about something else real quick. So most of the websites that you go to in your everyday life, behind the scenes, almost all of them generate these random strings, these random tokens, and they use these for a bunch of different stuff. Say that you want to change your password. Well, it's going to generate this random token that you can use, and it's pretty much a security feature to know that you are the person that's going to change it, and they can like send it to your email or something. They also generate a random token for like your session ID or anti-CSRF tokens. Pretty much any time they want to implement some kind of security feature, they almost always generate these random strings, these random tokens. Now obviously only the server and you should know your token. That's how it like verifies your identity. That's the point of it, a security feature. However, sometimes they do so in a not so smart way. Maybe they have like 1,000 of these tokens and they're just using the same ones over and over again. Maybe the random, and I know you guys can't see me, but I'm doing those little quote things with my fingers, isn't so random, and it's actually a formula that we can predict really easy. So if we can get a hold of a bunch of these secret tokens, what we can do is we can analyze them and figure out either how to predict them, or we could figure out the formula that is made to build them, and essentially once we have that, we can log into anyone else's account. Pretty sweet. So let me show you an example of what these tokens are and how to analyze them. So one of the most common ones is whenever you log into a site, that site is going to make this session ID, this weird string of numbers, and it's going to give it to you. So now I have the session ID on my own computer, and anytime I'm using the site, I have to send that session ID along with my request, and that's how it knows, hey, this is Bucky making that request. Why did they do that? Well, that way I don't have to send my username and password over the internet, and it's a little bit more secure. So let me just log into the site, and I'm going to hit tuna fish, and I'm going to hit login, and it logged me in. So now let's hop over in Burp Suite, and in the proxy, check this out. Alright, so I'm going to click on the responses right here, and I'm going to give myself a little bit more room to work with, and check this out. So this is that login form. That's the page that we just saw, and we can see that here was our request. Here is the information I gave to it, and its response was, okay, you logged in. I'm going to give you a session ID so I can identify you. It's pretty much like a weird ID number, or a really long ID number. And then after you're logged in, what I did is I redirected you to portal.php. This is just something that they downloaded from Google. Not sure what, not important, but that's what happened. So what we are going to do is we know that whenever we log into the website, it gives us this session ID, this ID number. However, is this actually random, or can we actually analyze it and figure out, for example, if we figure out the formula that makes this string of text, we might be able to reverse engineer it and hack into anyone else's account, since all you need to access their data is this ID number. Well, if I right click this and hit send to sequencer, then this is what we're going to do. We're essentially going to log in a bunch of times over and over and over again, because we know whenever you log in, it gives you a session ID. Now once we have enough of them, what we can do is we can run through them all, analyze them, and figure out if they are truly random or if they are predictable. So over in your sequencer, what it did whenever we passed it in is it automatically guessed, okay, you're probably trying to figure out this field right here, the session ID. Now it usually does a pretty good job of picking the right one, but if it ever gets it wrong, then you can just change it. Say you're trying to figure out that, which we're not. So I'm going to change it back to here, and now all you have to do is hit start live capture. So that's pretty much just going to run this script. If I adjust this. So what this is going to do is essentially log in over and over and over again. You can see all the requests that it's making to the server, and it's going to start collecting those tokens, those session IDs, and you can see right now it has 77 collected. Now once it gets to 100, this analyze now button is going to light up. In other words, it needs a certain amount of data before it can actually analyze it. You usually want quite a bit, like I recommend over 10,000 to get a really reliable analysis. But once you get to 100, then you can hit analyze now, and it's going to crunch all the numbers, and it's going to give you a quick summary. And for this right here, significance level of 1%, estimated to be 116 bits, this is actually good. And what this means is that the data, those sessions IDs, are random. So this is actually good for the website, not very good for us. And let me actually expand this so you guys can see a little bit better. So there you go. That's the basics of how to use the sequencer and why you would ever want to capture these session IDs or secret tokens. And in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys all of the different settings and actually what all of this crap actually means.